Right now, beneath this water, there are structures no human has ever seen, and histories no one can read. The ocean covers over 70% of our planet, yet we've explored less than 5% of it. We know the surface of Mars better than our own. Seafloor. Ancient civilizations believed the ocean was not empty, but crowded with drowned cities and forgotten gods. Across continents, cultures that never met told the same warning. The sea once rose, and civilization vanished with it. What if the abyss isn't just water, but an archive? Plato wrote of Atlantis, disappearing overnight. Indian texts describe the city of Dwarka swallowed by the sea. For centuries, these were dismissed as myths, but modern sonar is revealing shapes that don't look natural. Right angles, terraces, foundations. If these legends were just fiction, they shouldn't align so perfectly with known sea level rise after the last ice age. This changes everything. It suggests human civilization might be a cycle, one that has been broken before. Long before history was written, humanity learned its first great lesson from the sea. Across the ancient world, people spoke of a time when the oceans rose suddenly and swallowed everything familiar. These were not casual stories told for entertainment. They were warnings, passed down through generations, carved into stone, preserved in sacred texts, and embedded in ritual memory. From Mesopotamia to Mesoamerica, from India to the Pacific Islands, the same core event appears again and again, a catastrophic flood that erased civilizations almost overnight. Modern science confirms that at the end of the last ice age, melting glaciers caused sea levels to rise more than 100 meters. Entire coastlines vanished, vast land bridges disappeared. What is unsettling is not that floods happened, but that ancient people described them with such specificity. They spoke of cities, ports, temples, and societies lost beneath the waves. If these cultures were primitive, how did they understand global-scale destruction? And if these stories were exaggerated myths, why do they align so precisely with real geological events? We only rediscovered thousands of years later among all lost civilizations. None has captured the human imagination like Atlantis, according to Plato. Atlantis was not a distant fantasy, but a powerful maritime empire that existed beyond the Pillars. Of Hercules, he described advanced architecture, complex governance, vast harbors, and immense wealth. Most importantly, Plato insisted this was history, passed down through Egyptian records, not allegory. Atlantis was said to vanish in a single day and night of earthquakes and floods, leaving behind only mud and shallow waters. For centuries, scholars dismissed this as philosophy, but modern oceanography reveals that massive volcanic collapses and megatsunamis are capable of exactly this kind of destruction. Near the Azores and the Bahamas, underwater formations display linear stone structures and unnatural symmetry. Critics argue they are natural. Yet similar features on land would never be dismissed so quickly. Atlantis remains controversial not because evidence is lacking, but because its implications are disruptive. It suggests advanced civilization existed earlier than accepted history allows. In the East, ancient Indian texts describe a city called Dwarka, said to be the kingdom of Krishna himself, These texts are astonishingly detailed, describing multi-tiered buildings, fortified walls, ports, and roads. After a great war, the sea is said to have reclaimed the city, leaving nothing behind. For thousands of years, Dwarka was considered purely mythological. Then underwater excavations off the coast of Gujarat revealed stone walls, foundations, anchors, and artifacts resting beneath the sea. Carbon dating placed some structures far older than expected. While debates continue, one fact remains. Something complex once existed where the ocean now lies. These discoveries challenge the timeline of civilization itself. If advanced urban centers existed before conventional history begins, then human development was not linear. It rose, collapsed, and was forgotten just as the legends claimed. Off the coast of Japan lies one of the most controversial underwater sites ever discovered. The Yanaguni Monument is a massive stone formation featuring sharp angles, terraces, stair-like structures, and flat platforms. Natural erosion rarely creates such precise geometry, yet no definitive tools or artifacts have been found to confirm human construction. This ambiguity has kept Yanaguni locked in debate. What makes it unsettling is its scale and placement. If natural, it is one of the most geometrically unusual formations ever discovered. If artificial, it predates known Japanese civilization by thousands of years. Local legends speak of a lost land that sank beneath the sea long ago. Once again, myth and geology appear to intersect. Yanaguni forces an uncomfortable question. How many ancient structures lie underwater, misclassified simply because acknowledging them would rewrite human history? Not all mysteries are ancient. Some are modern and far more unsettling. In the Baltic Sea, sonar scans revealed a massive circular object resting on the seabed. Unlike any known natural formation, its shape, texture, and surrounding anomalies defied easy explanation. Initial investigations sparked global attention, then abruptly stalled. Similar stories emerge. Repeatedly, unidentified underwater structures are detected, briefly studied, then quietly labeled natural and forgotten. The ocean floor remains one of the least explored regions on Earth. Yet it is also one of the most strategically monitored. Advanced sonar mapping used by governments reveals far more than civilian science ever sees. The question is not whether strange formations exist, but how many we are never told about. The abyss has become the perfect place to hide history. What makes these discoveries more disturbing is the pattern of silence surrounding them. Funding disappears, research projects are halted, findings are downplayed. This is not necessarily conspiracy. It is discomfort. Acknowledging lost advanced civilizations destabilizes modern narratives of progress, superiority, and uniqueness. If humanity has reached complexity before and failed, then collapse is not hypothetical. It is precedent. Ancient legends consistently describe hubris, imbalance, and environmental catastrophe preceding destruction. These stories were not just memories. They were warnings. And perhaps the reason the abyss feels so threatening is because it reflects something we refuse. To confront that civilization is fragile, and the ocean does not forget. As technology advances, we continue to scan deeper, mapping shadows that slowly resolve into shapes. Some look natural, others do not. The deeper we look, the more the line between myth and history begins to blur. Ancient maps once mocked now resemble real submerged coastlines. Stories once dismissed now align with scientific timelines. The abyss is no longer silent. It is whispering. Each discovery suggests that our version of history is incomplete, edited by survival and time. What we call the dawn of civilization may simply be the latest attempt. In the end, the greatest secret of the abyss may not be what lies beneath the waves, but what it reveals about us. Entire worlds have vanished before. Cities fell, knowledge drowned, humanity restarted, believing itself new. If the ocean once erased civilization in a single generation, there is no guarantee it cannot happen again. The abyss is not just a graveyard of the past, it is a mirror. And the deeper we look into it, the more clearly we see that history is not a straight line forward, but a cycle written in water, waiting to repeat. As the story comes to the surface, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The ocean is not merely a backdrop to human history. It is one of its main authors. Beneath the waves lies not just stone and sediment, but the remnants of ambition, ingenuity, and collapse. Ancient legends did not speak of the sea with wonder alone. They spoke of it with fear and respect, as a force capable of erasing entire worlds without warning. What we call myths may simply be memories that survived when cities did not. Every submerged wall, every unnatural formation on the seafloor, every map that no longer matches our coastlines points to the same uncomfortable conclusion. Human civilization has faced total annihilation before, and it recovered only by forgetting. The abyss reminds us that progress is fragile. Technology, power, and knowledge do not guarantee survival. The civilizations that vanished beneath the waves likely believed themselves permanent, just as we do now. Yet sea levels rose, earthquakes struck, and in moments, generations of achievement were reduced to silence. Today, we stand on coastlines once walked by people whose names we will never know, unaware that the ground beneath us was once dry land, alive with culture. The ocean did not destroy their world out of malice, it simply reclaimed it. Perhaps the greatest danger is not what lies hidden underwater, but what happens when we stop listening to the warnings left behind. The abyss is patient. It keeps its secrets well, but it also leaves traces for those willing to look. And if the past has already shown us how easily civilization can disappear, the final question is no longer whether ancient legends were true. The question is whether we will recognize the signs before we become legends ourselves, resting silently beneath the waves.